So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and that you find it helpful somehow. So anyway, grab your coffee and your notebook because you might need it. And if you wanted to take a look at any of my books, links for that down below. And we are going to be talking today about being sick and helping people who are sick and being a patient and to a certain point being the doctor. So yeah, hard topic. So let's start by saying that first of all, I recommend a book. That is because sometimes when people get sick about whatever it is that they may have, it can trigger a, 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 a trillion of circumstances. And so it can end up making something that goes bankrupt. Then there is other people that will go into illegal things like even organ harvesting and things like this. And then there is all kinds of other issues, like you can't find a doctor, you can't find the medicine, you can't find whatever it is that you need to find. Then there are other issues like you need to get there, and sometimes you don't have transportation. Other times it will be just the fact that there is nothing that you can do literally. Other times it's just ethical and moral situations, like the person might want to die and you don't want them to die, or vice versa. And then there is all kinds of circumstances that surround this topic. And so this book is called Plan B by Pete Wilson. Now, this one I have it in Spanish, and it has a lot of information, advices, whatever you want to call them. And so I would recommend having this one, especially because in a lot of circumstances, this also means dealing with pregnancies or abortions or miscarriages or God knows what else. Now, this book is not about being sick. This book is about how you navigate throughout all of that, in which you have a bunch of people that will be against you, or it will be kind of like you against God or God against you, sort of like that in your head, or sort of like this. And then there is a lot of things that will happen because of that. Having said that, then being sick, it can be in different stages, as in you can be chronical, as in this is something that you will carry for the rest of your life, and then it gets good, better, horrible, bad, horrible, good, better, yeah, kind of like that. When you have something chronic, it means that there is very little that you can do. You have to understand there are conditions, meaning your body is like that. And then there are diseases, meaning there is something else going on, that it is not about your body, but it might be about a toxin or an attack or some form of issue reflecting a bigger problem within your body. And then there is also the part about you supporting your body, which is you improving your body. And then there is just you basically try to maintain things, but things actually go down, 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 down slowly, so slowly that you can't even tell that it is happening until it is too late, and sometimes you have to do a lot. It's like you go down like a drop, a drop, a drop, and then suddenly it collapses. Like things like aging, things that are related to the pass of time and others. And so then there is just a seasonal thing, because it is winter or it is summer, so you have heat strokes or you have flus and colds and other stuff like that. Or it might be just a regional thing, like everybody within your community is having something but nobody else is having it. And so there are things that you need to understand, because then the steps that you're going to take are going to be different. If it is seasonal, you were supposed to prepare last season. So for example, for summer, you are supposed to prepare in winter. And if it is winter, you are supposed to be prepared in summer. And so you gotta plan ahead of the seasons. And it is very important that you do that. So today we are going to be focusing on that one, planning ahead. So the first thing that you want to understand is planning ahead means that you need to have supplies at hand. The supplies will be the following, some of them. And remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to tell you what you may need. The most common things that I have told you before when somebody's sick in your house, it would be vomit, diarrhea, breathing issues, coughing, and of course, allergies. And it will also be fever, which means fluids and all that. And then it might also be other conditions that are within your family. So for example, some people might be diabetic, some people might be asthmatic, some people can have allergies all the time, some other people have other issues. And so if you have something like that, then you put it down, because you may need to prepare for that one. But other people that doesn't have that, then they don't prepare for that one. So there might be something that has relation to your diet, like you're intolerant to gluten, and so you need a gluten-free diet and things like this. And so you want to write down things. Also, at this point, I'm going to tell you, your pets are also going to be sick. So yeah, your pet might be vomiting, they have diarrhea, they can have depression and anxiety. Oh my god, that one is insane for the pets. And then they can also have issues with cold and heat. And so they will also have pest problems, like the things that get into the skin of animals. I forgot the name in English, but you probably know. And so you need to have tools to cut the nails, or the paw nail thing, the claw. You need to have other stuff related to cleaning after them. You need to have everything that they need, like a first aid kit for them. And you need to have an identification with you that says we have a pet. Just in case that something happens to you, for example, you and your family go into a car and then you need to go to the hospital for several days, somebody has to go home and take care of the pets. So at this point, if you have an identification with you, people in the hospital and everything else, they will know that you have a pet, and then they will send somebody over to make sure that your pet is okay, hopefully. And you also need to have your own contact, emergency contact information. This should be out of state contact, and it should have your emergency contact information, your insurance information if you have it, and then there are other issues that you can have in this card. There are a lot of web pages that have how to make these cards, both for the pets and for you and for your family. But I will recommend that you take the one that is made out of the US government, because it's for the emergency planning. That one has kind of like the best things, and you can just print it and write it down, and that's it. It's easy one. And this is just you preparing for these things. Now, if you know that there will be all of these things. Well, then, number one, you want to understand that there are aspects to this. First of all, you need support. For meaning taking care of the things surrounding the patient, not the patient per se. So, for example, in hospitals, you have a cleaning crew. The nurse will be the assistant, and the professional will be the doctor. In this case, if you're at home, you are the assistant, meaning you will be doing like the nurse. You will be taking care of the medicine, you will be checking pulses, checking temperature, checking breathing, checking type of pain, checking the diet, things like that. However, if somebody is vomiting, then you need to have somebody else cleaning fast. And you need to have supplies so that you can take care of the process of the patient. So now I'm going to tell you there are 5 stages for this. Number 1, you evaluate your surroundings and protect yourself before anything else. Even paramedics, when they engage into a scene, they are able to do that because police or firefighters or whatever it was were able to assess the situation and say, okay, now we can go. Because let's say that you have paramedics that are running into things. Yeah, now you have to rescue the paramedics too. So no, step 1 all the time, no matter what, is assessing the situation. And for you to assess the situation, you need technical knowledge. And if you don't have it, then have it printed, laminated. Get all of the sheets that are related to nurse. And some of the equipment that is, I would recommend analogic type of equipment. I highly recommend analogic type. If you get it electrical or electronic, it's easier, yes. But can it fail? Oh, hell, 1,000 times over. So if you have a thermometer that you go, bleep, bleep, that's it. No. You have just, no. No. Well, duh. There is no power and there is no internet. So how exactly are you going to power that thing up? And so, no. Does it have batteries? The batteries will run out. And so, analogic type of thermometer. Now, there are 2 types of analogic thermometer. They're the ones with the tip. If the tip is long, it is for the mouth or the underarm. It is not for the rectum. However, if the tip is short, then it is for the rectum, okay? And so you also need thermometers for the animals that are not meant to be for people. And so you need to separate them clearly because they look alike and they have mercury on it, and that means that they can be broken, they can be poisonous, and so no kids allowed. And if you have a clumsy hand or a very chubby hand or stuff like that, then don't. You're not handling that. You need to have somebody else handling that, okay? Because if you have a hand that goes and breaks it, because a thermometer, you're supposed to work like this. And if you have a hand that is too hard or too heavy, you will break. And so you need to understand how to use those. There are YouTube videos about that. I don't know what to tell you. If you still do not want analogic because you go kind of like, no, that's too hard, whatever, I don't trust it, or it's too long, or blah, 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 then by all means get the electrical one. Remember, the one that takes the blood pressure and the pulse, if it is electronic and the battery is off, even if it is a little bit, then the readings that you're getting are not trustworthy. And so, honest to God, those things, they are a problem because they will give you the wrong readings, and then you go kind of like it's 180 over 110 or something like this, and the actual reading is 160 over 95 or something. And so, no, hell no. I would recommend that you like I said, check for the analogic one, or just use your hands if you can. For this, you can learn online, you can take first aid course, and you can do whatever. And so whatever works for you, just know that there is technical support as an assistant. And if you don't want to do it or you can't do it, then leave it alone, because there is other types of support. Then there is the help, as in, okay, so somebody vomit, now you go and clean fast. We need medicine, we need to boil this fast, you go get it. We need this, you go get it. There is that type of help, and that one is insane, because when you have people that go kind of like eating, then you gotta use the hot water and chlorine or vinegar or other stuff to prevent these things from spreading into other people. And so cleaning these things will have to be done differently, which means that you need help with all of that, especially if you're not sleeping. Then there is the supplies that you're supposed to get for before even you get sick, like lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of bed sheets, disposable bed sheet protectors. They are cotton and they are disposable, and they have a little bit of plastic sometimes, or it will be plastic with cotton, or it will be a mixture of materials. But basically you put it under the bed, the sheets of the bed, and they protect the mattress. And the idea is that if you have a fever and you're sweating all over, this will prevent the mattress from being contaminated. If you have, if somebody pees or poops in the bed, then it will not go through the mattress. And mattresses are going to have like a lot of issues with when you have people that are sick. And so you want to understand how to help the mattress being clean as much as possible, okay? So at least once or twice a year, you're supposed to take the mattress and put it a little bit into the sun, or just flip it open, like up and open to the sun, like to the window or something like that. And make sure that it gets both sides when it is very, 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 very sunny. And so that way, it will prevent a lot of things from getting into that thing. Also, if you have a lot of allergies, it will be necessary to do this more frequently, because there are little things that get into the mattresses that you don't even know. And you want to protect the mattress by the bed sheets. The bed sheets, like I said, they are disposable. They come in packages, usually 6, 12, and sometimes 10. I would recommend getting 100 of them, and for a couple. So if you have 2 people, maybe get 100 of them. If you get a family of 4, I would recommend getting maybe 200 of them. Why? Well, because when you're sick for about 3 days, and if you are sick for 3 days and you're changing that 3 times a day, that is 10. And if 2 of you are sick, that is you already having 20. And if this person is vomiting, and they are vomiting and having these kind of fluids and all of that into your bed 6 times per day, and then it's 4 days, that is 25. For each one of you is 50. So take your pick. Also, once you buy those things, understand that during hard times, there is no way you're getting those things anymore, because they won't be made. Why not? Well, because people don't get sick all the time, and this thing is something that you buy and then you get, and then you just store it for God knows how long. However, if you're in a hospital and other areas, then yeah, you're going to use it like frequently. But if it's not like you're planning on getting sick every day, okay? So, and this will be stored, and it can last you maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years, hopefully more. And sometimes it's not just for you. So for example, let's say that you have a sister, they live in another house. Well, you have a sister with kids and blah, 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 so now they need it. So that's why I told you to get maybe 100, maybe 200, because that way you can also help. Meaning, there is a third type of helping people, which is logistics. As in, I need somebody to run to the pharmacy. I need somebody to get the car and fill it up with gas. I need, which is something that a lot of people don't think about, okay? When you are sick, you're not thinking, oh my God, if I need to go to the doctor, oh yeah, you ran out of gas to get to the hospital. So congratulations, now you're taking even longer. And now you can't even go. And so logistics means you must have a list. If you don't have it, then have it, print it, make it, and then have at least 2 or 3 people know about this one so that they can help you out while you are working with the patient. So for example, you are staying home with the kids because the kids are sick, but your husband goes and does the shopping, does the cleaning of the car, gets the emergency things that you're supposed to get into a backpack, so in case that they need to go, your husband gets everything, including insurance information, cash, snacks and things to get to the hospital, because the people that are in the hospital, like supporting them, they're not going to be in the area of patients but outside, so you need to have things to do like reading, maybe paper things, or maybe your cell phone with batteries and enough money on the cell phone, and then chargers, and then kits for cleaning yourself when you go to the hospital, and EDCs, and all kinds of other stuff. So logistics, it's a very long thing. It's kind of like when you have a wife and she's about to be, in labor, so you prepare a bag, you prepare everything, and then you go through a process, blah, blah, blah. So sort of like the same, but have it ready for you needing to go to a hospital emergency. So emergency out of the blue means all of these things. You need to have somebody that takes care of the pets. You need to buy the supplies for the pets. You need to take care of the pets while you're also taking care of the kids. You need to take care of calling everybody. Hey, I'm not going to go to work. Hey, I'm not going to do this. Hey, the kid is not going to school. Hey, what is supposed to be doing? Because the kid can be working on the homework on the bed while they are sick. So please send me, you need to be in touch with the teachers. You need to do a lot of things. And so logistics. That is not so you need 3 types of things when you are doing with the patient. You need the assistant, meaning the one that have technical knowledge and this kind of like the nurse, and then the one who is cleaning, cooking, getting things, moving things, the one that it's taking over you in case that something goes wrong, because you need to sleep while the patient is asleep, but at the same time you need somebody that is aware that every half an hour you need to touch the person so that you can know whether they have a fever or not, blah, blah, blah. And so you need somebody that will take over you. You need to be able to clean and do all the other things that are related to that. And then you need the logistics, as in somebody who is out. So for every patient, you have to have 3 supporters. If you don't have them because you only are one person, because it is you and your husband, then you gotta do the 3 things, which is why you want to have lists, especially for men. Because men go, oh crap, I forgot the cash. Oh crap, I forgot everything. So especially because remember, you as a woman can have 1,000 things in your head, and you can take care of 1,000 things in your head. You don't have a nothing box in your head. You don't have anything like that. You won't stop. Your problem is going to be anxiety. The problem that he is going to have, he can only manage to maximum of 3 things. Maximum. And that is you pushing that guy to the limit. Okay? And then that guy also has a nothing box, and if you don't give him the nothing box, that guy is going to go into anxiety or depression. If he goes into depression mode, oh hell. If he goes into anxiety, you will know, because he will be fighting and he will probably be screaming. That will be better than depression one, by the way. But still. And so now you gotta support him as well. So, and if you are in overload because you don't have a nothing box, then he needs to support you. So you both need to know how to take a break, and it's going to be very difficult because you will both be tired, and you will both be pissed, and you will both be a lot of things. And so breathe, turn it down. At this point, you can have, like I said, that book, read it. You can have other things, and I suggest that you avoid using the cell phone during this time, unless it is for checking something punctual. Then avoid that one, because if you're sick and you keep doing things with the cell phone, your immune system and everything is actually going to go a lot, and it will take longer for you to do anything. And at the same time, it will affect your brain and everything. And so, no. And then if you're going to do something else, then either learn how to sleep properly, rest properly. And at this point, you want to have several things. You want to have support for sleeping a lot, like 2 sets per person. And that means having the sleeping mask, the aromatherapy, pillows, whatever it is for you, whatever works for you. There is people that work with sounds, there is people that work with whatever it is. If there is no power, then your biggest problem for sleeping is going to be room temperature controlling things. So it will be too hot, it will be too cold, it will be too humid, it will be too sunny, too whatever, and then you can't figure this one out, because we are used to having controlled climate, and at this point you won't have access to that. And if you don't have access to that, this is going to drive every single person that you meet to the brink of collapse, especially if you are a woman. And so this will also give you headaches, it will give you dehydration problems, it will give you all kinds of issues. And so you also want to buy lots and lots and lots of straws, because if you are going to drink, this means that you need to move your head, this means that you need to hold this means that it will be more uncomfortable, this means that it cannot be done through a lot of people, because they go, I can't, and things like this. And so, no, the easiest one will be you, that's it. That way you don't even have to worry about it. So the straws can be reusable. If they are metal, you can just boil them to clean them. And it will be good to have those. And if you have those, you need to have them marked, meaning get a nail polishing and paint them, or do something with these things so that you know which person has which one. And I would recommend getting 3 or 4 per person. And that's it. I recommend that you do not get the one that is curvy, because that one is very hard to clean. It must be straight. If it is going to be reusable, then get whatever. But if it is going to be, the one that is, the one that is reusable is the one that you want to have straight, because it is easy to clean. However, if it is disposable, as in plastic ones, the one that you get when you go into a restaurant, the ones that you get anywhere, then plastic will be fine, because you just use it, you don't have to clean it, throw it. However, it will be an issue when it comes to handling trash. And it might be an issue if somebody else is touching that thing, because it will have your fluids and all of that. And so you need to handle the trash properly. That means that you want to have several, like dozens of trash bags, like small ones or medium size or whatever, but make sure that the kids and the pets do not have access to that type of trash. And you don't have to put each thing into one trash bag. You can just put it all together and say that this is biohazard and don't touch it. And so you also want to have lots and lots and lots of tissues, paper towels, toilet paper, and baby wipes, and bacterial anti-wipes for cleaning, disposable ones, all of them disposable. Like I said, the reason being, that you are into a situation in which you can infect everybody else with whatever it is that you have. So you need gloves, and again, everything disposable if it is possible. If it is not possible, then the kitchen gloves are going to be your best choice, because they can be boiled. Depending upon the material, make sure that it is okay to boil them for maybe a couple of minutes. Like, put them in very hot water with chlorine. That way, they are clean and they are ready to go. The problem with gloves and things like those is going to be how you're going to clean them when it comes to drying them, especially the ones that you put your hand, the ones that are supposed to be touching your hand, not the ones that you are supposed to be having for the surface, but the inside of your hand. And so you can have those, but if it is going to be reusable, then make sure that you understand how to boil them, how to clean them properly, and how to dry them properly. Because the problem with straws and the gloves and all of those things is not just boiling them, but also how you're going to dry them. And at this point, there is a lot of people that will get UV chambers, UV light chambers to disinfect things, whatever. I'm not opposed to those. However, understand that those work with electricity. And if there is no power, if you're counting on those, again, that's why you want to have analogic type of things. And then you want to have ingredients and laminated sheets to make tonics, teas, infusions, and decoctions. Now, they are different. Tonics are made with things that you put in water and you let them sink. And that's it. You don't boil them, you don't do anything. So for example, you have rice, you place it in there, you don't cook it, you don't do anything. And the next day, you remove the rice, now you have rice water. So this is kind of like a tonic, okay? These are called tonics. Tonics will be made with herbs, flowers, seeds, sometimes grains, and sometimes other stuff. And it will be a mixture. And the whole point about tonics is that they can be used for hydration purposes. And they can also be used for detoxing issues. And they can also be used for immunity issues. And so have a lot, especially for summer. If you're thinking that during summer you can be okay and it will be like you normally drinking water and you will be okay, no. I keep getting interrupted. So anyway, during summer, to prevent dehydration and to prevent heat stroke, is not just water. You need tonics, especially if there is not going to be any kind of doctors or whatever. There are special types of tonics, and they have been used throughout medieval times up until now. And there are lots and lots and lots of recipes for that. I will suggest that you try using local ones. Meaning, if you're in Canada and you're trying to get avocados, right? If you're in you know, in I don't know, let's say that you are in the middle of a desert and you're trying to get a pine tree and stuff like that. So try to get specifics. Infusions are hot, like they need to be hot, like they need to be boiled or hot. So not necessarily boiled, but it needs to be hot, and then you let it sink. And it is made with herbs, meaning it is seasonal, meaning you can't get it throughout the entire year because there are herbs. And so that's the difference. These are made out of the same plant, which is native to, I think it was India or China, but it was Asia. And this plant is taking, you take the leaves throughout the entire year. And basically, if you take the leaves in summer, it will be a type of tea. If you take the leaves in winter, it will be another type of leaf, another type of tea. And then it will, depending upon the season in which you take it, or the month in which you take it, it will be different grades of oxidation type for the leaves. Because when you collect them, they also have to go through a process of dehydration so that you can take them later. And that is why they are different, even though that they are from the same type of plant. And so when you say, for example, that you can have a tea of lemon or something like this, no, that's just not entirely true. The reason being, I just told you, this is not a herb. This is an infusion. Infusions are going to be made the same way that a tea does, but they are not throughout the entire time available, and that's why they call different. Also, both tea and infusion can be used cold or hot. Tonics, most of the times, like 9 out of 10, or I think 10 out of 10, are not going to be used hot. Tonics are meant to be used warm or cold. And then decoctions are going to be roots of the plants. And so they don't have a season, but they are roots, and they need to be boiled for at least 5, 10, 15 minutes. And depending upon the materials and ingredients that you're getting, it could be half an hour. And so that's why, it's important. And that is why people will tell you that there are different types of teas in quality and all of these things, because there is people that can actually tell how much oxidation of the leaf plants and all of the other ones they have compared to infusions, which is harder to tell. Then learn and make a lot of recipes for that one. You can also have lots of fruits included in the infusions, and they are going to be key for your survival. Key. Especially flower ones. Reason being is that, okay, there is hunger everywhere, and people are even stealing from other people's gardens or other people's whatever, okay? So they go everywhere. People, like 95 out of 100, if not 99 out of 100, people will go through a lot of things, and when they go to your house, they go kind of like, there is no food here, while you have flowers that are edible, but nobody knows. So people stealing your food supply, meaning your flower supply, not likely. I mean, unless you're telling me that they are going to say something like, okay, I am stealing that so that I can get it for my wife, or I'm stealing that because the smell is extremely cool. Then yeah, that's a problem, because they just took your food and your infusion and your tonics and but other than that, most people don't think about flowers in that way. And so if you have 100 flowers, you have 100 sources of food and nutrition and vitamins and tonics and all kinds of things that people will not look for because they don't know, and you're the only one who knows. Also, if you're the only one who knows how to help to make the tonics, then you can try them. Well, nobody else can, because you're the only one who can prevent heat strokes and others by creating tonics, which is, at this point I'm going to tell you, tonics were made by pharmaceutical people, by doctors. They were made not by almost anybody. No, it was a knowledge that it was, right now you can get it online, but in medieval times and others, people didn't even know what the hell. And so also, a lot of tonics are actually poison, so beware of that, because there are a lot of flowers and a lot of things out there, mushrooms and others, even fruits, that are poison. So be careful with what are you doing. If you do not know what you're doing, I suggest that you really check what the hell, and you look for somebody that knows what is happening, because these tonics are amazing. People that drink them, they don't suffer so much heat, they don't suffer migraine, they don't suffer a lot of things that we are suffering right now, because they are actually going through a process of detoxification, and at the same time they have an inner effect in your biology inside, so that you can keep cool inside in your guts, not in the outside. So that means that it's important, because that way, despite the fact that outside is boiling, your inner thermostat will be okay. Remember, in your body you have over 40 senses. If you're thinking I only have 5 senses, then you'll probably be dead. And you're probably a ghost hunting, hunting people or hunting something. And if you're going to be hunting something, you're probably hunting my channel, like the ghosts that I have mentioned before a lot in the videos. Like, yeah, if you are that one, do you want a name? Maybe I should name you and pet you. And anyway, by the way, if you decide to become a pet or something like that, my mom is going to probably be asking for rent. But anyway. Like I was saying, you have over 40 senses in your body. This means that you need to have a thermostat within your body. Meaning, okay, so outside is freezing, but you didn't freeze to death. And your blood is still sort of like the same temperature that it was 4 hours ago or 10 months ago or whatever it was. Why? Well, because you have a sense of a thermostat that is within your blood. When that one doesn't work, you will be boiling, as in you will have a fever. And you will have a lot of other issues. And that tells you, that is one sense that goes into your body that tells you, we have a war inside, we are fighting, stop moving, and give us fluid, and tonics, and hydration things like insane, like minerals, mostly minerals, which is something that, again, tonics and others will provide. And so you have the senses of balance, as in you're walking, and you don't go, and you don't, you don't tumble upon everywhere, and then, kind of like that. So you have a sense of that one. You have a sense of equilibrium, meaning, okay, so I'm carrying a backpack in these sides, but I'm not going to go like that, So you have another sense. You have over 40. If something is wrong within any of these 40 senses, you have a disability. If you don't have a disability, then you have issues. If you have issues, it's because your perception in your body is not calibrated properly. So, for example, a lot of people go with vertigo when they see heights, or they have nausea all over, or they have an ear problem and then it gives them, I can't move because I feel like everything is tumbling, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, kind of like that. You also have a sense of magnetic field is in your hair, if it is long. And you also have memory systems. You also have, like I said, 40. Just look them up, okay? If any of those is not working or is not properly calibrated, you will have a lot of issues. And some of them, you even have perception of objects, meaning I'm going to grab this. I know what it is. I can grab it. However, there are people that go because they can't tell perception distances. And so you can tell that one. That one, if you're a man, oh my God, that one is going to be cool for you. However, if you want to tell that this is different, 10 different types of greens, you're a man. You're not doing it. But if you're a woman, oh hell yeah. And you're probably going to argue with the other women about the different types of tens of greens that are out there, because what the hell, you're thinking that they are 8 or 9, and sometimes other people will tell you that they're 10, and now you're going to argue with other women what type of green this is. And then men will be looking at the two of you and said, let's go. And anyway. And so, kind of like that. It's important that you understand that the tonics and hydration is going to help you with all of these things. You also need to understand Serums. Now, if you have cholera, which is going to be one of those things that is very, very, very likely that in your lifetime you will go through cholera, especially after floods or after certain seasons. And so the solution is serums. You need to have at least 3 ways to prepare serum fast. And serums for people who are diabetic are more problematic, or they are difficult to make, because serums are made out of sugar and salt in the proper proportion. And sometimes that proportion needs to vary when you have somebody who's sick. Meaning, okay, so I am dehydrated today, so I take a little bit of serum, you will be fine. However, if I'm sick, then I might need more minerals, meaning I need more salt. Or I might need, if I'm too tired, and on top of being sick, I'm like, oh, and I have fainted and I can't even move because I am so tired, you might need more sugar. And so you need to figure this one out. And for that, like I said, you need proportions, and you need your cheating testing thing, meaning your laminated, printed thing. If you don't have it, during hard times, you're not getting it anywhere. And if you need to go and get a pharmaceutical guy or girl or to help you out, yeah, it's going to be very expensive. If they tell you at all how the hell to make it, or how the hell to do it, or what to do it. And sometimes you won't be able to get to that person on time. And so it's an issue. The other alternatives will be that you buy lots of effervescent type of multivitamins, not vitamin C alone. Vitamin C alone, effervescent, it will be the best type, fast and efficient for somebody who is sick. Meaning, okay, I have a flu, effervescent vitamin C. Now, are you going to take the whole thing? No. I will suggest, if you have somebody who is sick and is vomiting all the time, okay, so I take the thing, I vomit. Now you need to take it again. I take the thing, I vomit. I need to take it again. So are you going to take 20? No, because those packages come in 10s. Sometimes they come in 5. And so, no. Your best alternative is going to be chop it into 4 and take one. If you do not throw it up, then move on. Wait. It has been 3-4 hours. Okay, drink it again. I didn't vomit. Okay, 6 hours. I do it again. And 1/4. And that way, you can also, it will be easier on your stomach. However, remember to talk to a doctor about it. Because if the doctor goes, I don't care if you throw it up, you take it again, the whole thing, then you take it the whole thing. But usually, in the experience that we have here, like my family and all of that, we do that one. We take that thing, we cut it in 4. If we are able to take it, as in process it, then we wait, and then we take a little bit more, and then we wait, and then we do it. Because when you're throwing up, like every hour, anything you take within an hour will be gone. And by the way, if you keep throwing up like that, there are several things that you need to have at hand immediately, like your doctors. Because if you're throwing up more than 3 times straight, doctor, emergency, now, leaving, hospital. That's it. Especially if you are with a baby. If you're a baby and it has thrown up 2 times already, and you have hydrate the baby, which, by the way, hydration for babies is different because it is made both by droppings. Drop 1 drop at a time. It cannot be done like you drinking a glass. And so, with babies, hydration is an entire process. And so, if you have a baby who is throwing up, doctor, now, like you should have gone immediately to the doctor, as soon as the baby goes out the door. That's it. Okay, And if you have a toddler, once, okay. But twice, doctor, immediately. Or if you can't find a doctor, if you don't have a doctor, if there is nothing else, then I would suggest that you use your star card. 1-800-GRANDMA. Grandma! And then, oh, you are ungrateful. What the hell? You haven't talked to me in over a week. What is wrong? Blah, blah, blah. Grandma, I'm going to listen to you soon, but please, right now, help with this. And then your grandmother will be commanding voice. Now, okay, let's roll. Ready to roll. Bring me bring me my warhead thing. And then your grandmother is going to be on the phone. Did you do this? No? What the hell? Why did you not do? My grandson, he said, I'm going to so smash my kid. What the hell is he doing? Why does he not know how the hell to raise my grandkid? And now it's going to be a family drama. But, meanwhile, she will go, okay, so you don't have that? No. Do you have this? No. Do you have alternatives? So your grandmother is going to be able to think 40 alternatives for you. I don't have salt. Okay, then use this. I don't have sugar. Then use that. I don't have this. Then use that. I don't have that. Okay, run, get this. Your neighbor will have it. I remember this. I remember that about your house, so I know you have it here. Or talk to somebody. I will get it for you. Blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah. 1-800-GRANDMA. So, but, oh, by the way, but if you call your grandma, understand that this is going to be a fuss, and so, or 1-800-MOM, or if you have like your father is a doctor or a nurse, or your grandfather is an doctor or a nurse, then you go 1-800-GRANDPA. But grandparents are most about grandpa. What? Yeah, my house is floating. There is a flood dosa? No, it's coming from the toilet. Oh, don't worry, honey. I will get it for you. I'll run it and I will fix it for you. Just wait there. I need to get this and this and that. And in half an hour, they will be there and fixing it. So you will be okay. And that is the good news about you having grandparents. So cherish them. And yes, they can be, oh God. Yeah. They can be difficult too. And they can get sick more frequently than you do. And they need a lot of things that you don't, and you might need to go and get a lot of diapers for them and all of these things, but yeah, 100% worth it. And anyway, mom, dad, cool. If you don't have it because you are alone, you are in another country, whatever it is, then call your best friend. Your best friend is probably going to be able to help you out a lot, because especially if she's a woman, because she will be able to tell you a lot of things that you are probably forgetting. And so, because when you're doing something, you can take care of you can't be 3 people at the same time. You can only be you. So if your best is you being the assistant because you are the best nurse there is, yes. If you are the best cleaner there is, then you are the helper. If you are not either of those things because you go ballistic, then logistics, okay? And so, figure out which one are you, and then figure out how you're going to handle all of these things, and always have the sheets. They are key for everything, and always have the supplies that I have mentioned. And actually it's kind of easy, because when you go to a store, everybody will buy the food, the toilet paper, the things that are normal and regular. However, people are not going to go, oh, I need to hoard straws. I need to go and run and get all of the bed sheet protector things. And yeah, so even throughout the first stage of hard times, you will be able to find this. But after the second stage, where the hell are the straws? Straw? You mean the things that are for wealthy people, like Bill Gates kind of thing? Yeah, or Elon Musk kind of thing? Yeah, I'm sorry, why do you need straws? Yeah, and so, no. The straws are going to be like either very, very, very expensive or very, very, very hard to get. And so most people will be like, no, that doesn't exist. And there are a lot of things that people will go, that is for rich people. We don't have it, we don't need it, we no. And so straws and bed sheets, and there are a lot of other things that people will go like that, and so they won't. It's like you have only $10 to buy absolutely everything that you have in your house, and you are spending 12 in food. So are you going to buy straws? No, you will just drink the water, through the cup, despite the fact that it will damage your thing, and you can't, and then it will, and you don't have the strength, and it will be, a mess. So can it be done? Yes. But do you want it to be like that? No. Because you're trying to make your life easier and more comfortable, okay? These are items that are for comfort, and at the same time protecting the mattress and others. Because most people will go, okay, is the mattress, okay, then I don't care if it's whatever. So your mentality will change through hard times as well because of all of these things. And when you go and you're sick, comfort is going to be in the least of your problems, but it's going to be on the top of your priority, especially if you have kids or you have women, which means that you'll probably be, if you have a wife, she's probably be nagging you about it. And and if you are a woman, then you will be, why did I? Yeah. So breathe. And moving on, you also want to have, like I said, the laminated things. You also want to have a contact information that has local phone numbers, not cell phones. Because if the cell phones are down, then the only phones that will be working will be lines. And I have talked to most of my friends about this thing, and they go, okay, if I have a landline phone, which I do not know, then I don't know the number. I don't even know if there is. So anyway, I will talk to you about other issues like that soon. So thank you for staying tuned. I hope that you are not sick, and if you are, breathe, and continue to breathe, because it's a seasonal thing, it's a cycle thing, and it's part of being alive. Being sick means you are not dead, and you are not hunting people or places or whatever it is. And if you are, then I hope that you don't get sick when you're hunting.